Hi everyone. So, yeah, I know people do work, right, at their jobs. We work really hard, and um, I'd probably ask my angry viewers right now who are like, "The hell with this, the hell with you," but I'm gonna watch this anyway, um, because you're exhausted and you're just constantly going. I've talked before about how the culture of this country is very fast paced and like the capped up nation, um, and it is it's just insane. People just go nonstop. Certainly not everyone, but a lot of people juggle like 40-hour jobs and kids and hobby interests and just all kinds of stuff. And I don't know how somebody do it, but the point of the video is there is a point and there's a reason why I titled that. And I just, some of this stuff is like pattern ritualistic stuff. I know it all probably feels necessary, and for some of you it is probably. I'm not here to say it is or it isn't or anything like that. It's just the world right now is like on the brink of destruction, and a lot of people know this, and they're just kind of like, I don't know if it's an exhaustion or different, a result of different cultural programming, but they're just like, well, we're helpless, we can't do anything about it, it's too late, who cares, and not my fault, not my problem, I didn't start it, let somebody else fix it, those kinds of attitudes towards it. And it just, it's really crazy. I kind of see like where some people are coming from a place of being burnt out and exhausted and feeling like they don't have time to do anything other than what they feel they need to do to get their basic needs met. Pay their rent, pay for food, that kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, how crazy is that attitude if you really stop and think about it? When there are things that we can do, um, you know, I'm I'm a vegan coach, right? I took courses, I educated myself, became vegan myself. I've lived that lifestyle for going on 6 years now, and I've had clients, had experiences working with people and communicating with people both on a social level, being like a mentor, and in a professional setting. And I should be like, if people were actually doing their job right now as humans, um, where if you felt free to, if that's the case, but whatever, if we were actually doing our jobs right now, even just for the sake of survival, really, I would have clients all the time. Like, I would have day after day, all my days, I would be booked. Um, Absolutely booked, because animal agriculture is the number one cause of so much of the problems. Like global warming and species extinction and just pollution. So the destruction of the whole, the planet itself, but also on an individual level, so many of our problems, health problems, physical health problems, galore, mental and emotional problems, galore as well. And so I don't really have an answer. I mean, there's a solution, of course, is to start moving towards a vegan diet, to seek help, hire me, talk with me about hiring me, or go make a vegan meal this week, become a flexitarian, take yourself off one thing like dairy, whatever, move in that direction. Um, but I'm not sure if there's really going to be closure to this video. However, I felt I need to just come on and share my feelings, my thoughts right now about this. And again, I'm not trying to attack anyone. I don't have judgment of anyone, and I totally see how people can feel stuck, like unable to make change in this situation. But looking at a bigger picture of what's going on, once again, it's very, very serious. There's lots of starving people, human people, and what's going on to the planet, the whole, is like it's just headed towards that destruction line, towards that chopping block, and it's getting very close. And we have the power to turn it around. I really believe that. And things in the past that have been ingrained into society, that have been rituals, that have been a way of life, that have been practiced, they've changed and they've shifted, oftentimes as a result of wars. But there's social movements and things where no war was declared, where people certainly had in some instances, people certainly had to, on a personal front, go to war, you could call it, by standing up for what was right and having the laws that were in place at that time be against what's actually moral and right. Therefore, as an example, it's going to be easier if I put examples out there. So, like the women's rights movement, there was no actual war like there was with the Civil War, right? But certainly there were women that went to jail for trying to do things that men did that it wasn't legal for them to do. There was a lot of cruelty in some of these jails, things that are just torture. And men probably had some what do you call it, some unpleasantness to go through. That's not the word I was going to use, but as a result of standing up for women's rights, and the women's rights movement too, and women's rights. But throughout history, we've made changes, and we can do that now. We are doing that on an individual level, on group levels. We are making shifts and changes. I would just, of course, like to see it on a larger front. I live within a society that's not vegan. I don't live in a vegan society. So when I go out, I see so many people who are in this culture, these patterns, this way of life that I used to be in, and I can remember back to what it was like for me, my suffering and how I was different, how I used to take out my pain on others in a different way and more. And just the suffering that I went through, and I can see, the suffering that it causes others, that it causes the economy, which is huge. And I would love to talk more about that if anyone is interested. Maybe we could do like a Google live talk, whatever it's called, a hangout, or you let me know what kind of format you'd be interested in with that if you want to talk about it. But what was I saying? So the economy, but the way it hurts so many beings, including the ones doing it. And it's an addiction, it's not healthy, like I've said before, and so it has direct implications on our physiology, on our biology, like on our bodies, on our health, our mental health, our spiritual health, our emotional health, our physical health. That's what I'm trying to spit out here. On our interpersonal relationships, how we interact and treat one another in social settings, in our romantic relationships, our view on life, our relationship with God or spirit, with all of nature. It really deadens down our intelligence to do this, because we have to overlook things that are so crucial and so important that we wouldn't. Like, if our if it wasn't dead and down, we just wouldn't. Um, but animals, I don't have to tell you that there's a tremendous amount of suffering to the animals who are directly eaten and abused for their secretions. Also, though, like so many other animals, because their habitats are destroyed in order to grow grains to feed to these animals, these factory farmed animals, and to build these factory farms on, and as a result of pollution from massive amounts of manure, lagoons, and things of that nature. But also, the whole economic system of the world, really not just of the country, but the world, which results in starving children and third world countries that are extremely impoverished. It is all linked to that, to the animal agriculture. And so everything else that people do to try to make the world a better place, it's not that it doesn't matter or it doesn't help. I think that a lot of these things do that. Acts of kindness matter. Helping your neighbor, your human neighbor, your whatever, people in society, some organizations. Uh, I think that that all does, but at the same time, it's like it's like cleaning a room and never cleaning the floor, the very foundation. It's never really finished, and that's where it all starts. That's not the best example, but the animal agriculture it is. We have built up anger that we receive from eating these products, and it has to be expressed, and you can just see the negativity spirals that root from animal agriculture and eating animal products and thinking of various beings as being inferior to you, and you being so superior, this like entitlement thing to entitle someone else's very life and body and flesh, and it to be able to feel like you have the right, or it's okay to go to the store and request this, to think that they're things, really is what it is, to put beings into the category of things. And that's been going on for a very, very long time. I mean, depending on your idea of a long time, because if we're talking about like Homo sapiens sapien lifespan, not really, but if you're talking years, it's been thousands of years. But I feel like it is cleaning itself up, and we are coming out of that dark age, that dark, mucky, like hell realm, really, that we had been in. I feel like we kind of started that with animal agriculture, and I'm not sure exactly when the change point was, but it's kind of like we started that and just kind of like on an experiment saw how bad it could get, and it got really bad. It got really dark and really nasty. So it's not new for people to be doing that, to be taking living beings that are definitely someone's, and deadening their own brains, their own minds, to treat and believe that those beings are things. We've got it with like racial issues in the United States with slavery. We've got it like that's the way it used to be with husbands and wives and women, and some of this is still crawling out. There's not the equality there, but it's like moving towards it. It's better than it used to be. And, in this country and in other parts of the world, there's still that domination, might makes right, taking beings and treating them like things. And it does nothing really good for anyone. And there's like a little gain that you get, but it's so perverse because there's like a little gain, that some people get monetarily, or that sick, like, ooh, I'm powerful, artificial sense of power. But really, it hurts the person doing it, the perpetrator, it hurts the victim, it hurts the bystanders, and like I said, it kind of, to me, looks like we were just on an experiment to see, like, let's explore this dark, nasty stuff that what's this about? But it does seem like it's started to get better. We've taken a lot of different things through social movements, and turned it around and started building more equality for women, for black people, or people of African descent in this country, for people who are homosexual, and so on. And the vegan people are starting to eat more plant-based. There are more plant-based foods out there now. The vegan population was at 1% in this country for a very long time, and then within 1 year it went from 1% to 2%. It just doubled, and it's still growing. So that's really good and really encouraging. But I just wanted to kind of wrap it into bring the beginning to the end here for some conclusions, closure. I really just wanted to say kind of that, we are in a system. A lot of us, we are in a system that is run and dominated primarily by the meat, dairy, egg, pharmaceutical, medical, media, military complex. We've got this pyramid thing going on, and it's a belief system that's in place that we all experience to some degree, probably within our lives, but we are have been living within that, where there's a few elite people from these systems, and there's the people at the bottom are just contributing and keep paying the people at the top, right? But most of the people at the bottom here feel like slaves, really. They have to work all the time, they're exhausted. Many of them hate their jobs, they don't like their jobs, they can't figure out how to get out of that. But they feel like, they have to work almost all the time just to be able to pay their rent and feed themselves and put gas in their cars to get back and forth to work. And they get maybe a little bit of choice, a little bit of spending money, a couple days off a week, or 1 day off a week even. And so those people are exhausted, and that's understandable. And not to rule out everybody in the middle. Everybody's got their own stuff, but the point is that that's not really life purpose work. I don't believe that's what anybody is here to do, is to just be a servant and a slave to these people. I want to call them evil people. I really do. These people at the top who are just keeping this wheel of torture and suffering going. You feel it down there, you're suffering too. But when you go out and you pay for somebody to suffer more than you still, that's not a way to liberate yourself, to free yourself from suffering. It keeps you in that cycle to an extent. And I'm not saying if you go vegan, then you're gonna just magically, come up the pyramid, or just be free and never have to work again, or anything like that. But it's a path of destruction, and it's not helpful going out and buying these things. All right, so real work, our real life purposes on this planet, I believe, have to do with love, have to do with Sophia, as Will Tuttle says, and others say, which is, the feminine wisdom that wants to protect life and nurture life, and be one and live harmoniously with life. I feel like, and I encourage people to think back to when they were children, before all this programming got put in them, like, what do you remember thinking? What was your impression of life here on Earth? Like, what you were here to do? I think for most people, they'll agree with me if they think about it. I think our purpose here is to have fun, to enjoy what's here, to get to know each other, right? To explore and get to know what's here, experience things, but from a place of respect for ourselves and for all life. And just that childish wonder gets really snuffed out. And I think that it's a crucial part of what our purpose is here, our life purpose. I think, we're probably here to experience challenge as well, but not the way that we have been. I think we're here to be healthy and to flourish and just collaborate, and individually as well. Let creative inspiration and spirit flow through us. Create things, breathe in fresh air, like feel the enjoyment that's available, rather than have it blocked and just what we've been going through. So if we were really on our jobs here, I feel like we would be doing what we could to move towards that freedom, towards our birthrights. And a big part of that is veganism, is it's kind of the harm none, do as you will type of thing. It's breaking free from those chains of being like stuck in slavery and enslaving others at the same time, and the hardening of the soul, really, that requires to view beings as things. So if we were really on our jobs here, people would be fighting for that. If you can't afford it, you would be saying things in the street. I would hear you. I would hear people upset, just talking to themselves like crazy people, or talking to people in the grocery line, venting it, like, this is outrageous that, this meat that causes cancer and heart disease and stuff is so cheap, and why can't we afford vegetables in this country anymore, and, let's fix the problem with that. I would hear things like that going on a daily basis, places that I go, and if we were really on our jobs, then I would be booked. Like I said, everybody would be like, yes, I want the help. Please, help me with these struggles, help me get these chains off. There would be a very high request for vegan coaches and vegan mentors. You would have, we would have people protesting about it. We would have people just, outraged. We're looking for solutions, trying to make positive change, and I don't know. I mean, it's changing, and maybe it's all changing at the speed it's supposed to, but to me it just seems very not fast enough, not as it should be. Most people are staying stuck in their hamster wheel at the bottom, eating crud, getting more unhealthy, gaining more weight, experiencing more pain while they're going through the drudgery of their jobs, getting injured, more injuries, more constipation, more fights, more bickering, more everything, and just as the planet gets sicker and sicker. So it's kind of like, can people please wake up, realize what's going on here? You're getting more and more sick. People around you are getting more and more sick. The family unit's getting sicker and sicker. The society is getting sicker and sicker. The whole planet is getting sicker and sicker. There's sickness that is just escalating, and we really need to take our power back and be like, hey, wait a minute here. I have the ability to heal, and that has when I start going in the other direction of healing, that's going to put off vibrating healing energy, vibratory healing energy towards those around me. They're going to receive that positive healing energy, and they're going to feel some of that. They're going to feel some refreshment. It's going to be easier for them to start healing. They're going to be inspired, and people around you will start healing, and we can do this. That would be what we would be doing if we were on our jobs here. We would be stopping that inertia, right, of like destruction and sickness, getting sicker and sicker as a planet and as individuals and so forth, and stopping it and reversing it. Okay, and maybe what I'm feeling is just like the slow down and the stop. But yeah, I just feel like time to move backwards, time to clean it all up now, time to get healthy, time to like do what we actually came here to do. Think back to when you were a child. Actually came here to do. Be light, have adventure, have fun, explore, be harmonious with the others here, the other animals. Remember your pets, the other beings, human and not human, and the planet itself, the trees, and it's all alive, it's all part of us. You can't destroy your room and expect it not to affect you at all. You're going to trip over things if you throw everything on the ground and break everything you own. You're probably going to step on some glass. It's not going to be pleasant. We can't do that to the planet and expect it not to affect us as individuals either. And it's just very narcissistic to even go there. Like, how does it affect me? If it doesn't affect me, I don't care. But I understand that a lot of people are so exhausted they can't help it. They've been so used and abused by the system. They just can't help it but feel that way. They don't have the energy. But you do have the energy. It's just it's been blocked off, so you can't access it right now. You just gotta move some stuff around. You do have the energy. You can do it, I know this video is getting really long. I wanted to wrap it up, but yeah, what we came here to do, which I think is, really, as adults, I think it was just supposed to grow. I think we're just supposed to grow from that childlike state where, and I had problems in my childhood too, don't get me wrong, but I still remember that wonderment, that the amazing smell of like fresh cut grass, and I still love that, but how everything was magical and you just make the most of it as a child. Go out and play in the snow, and so what if it was cold and it was painful? It was still fun. Like that energy of love and fun and being in harmony with nature and enjoyment. I think it's just supposed to grow from childhood. We go through certain phases. There's certain things that get added to our lives. We grow to an age where we can have lovers or a lover. There's bonds grow between people. Things can be built. And those things are probably supposed to be life-affirming things. A life purpose, I believe, is to build life-affirming things, to grow in that and learn and continue to do so about each other and the world from that place. So more intelligence, really, more spiritual intelligence, more emotional intelligence, physical health, greater physical health, just continued enjoyment, expansion from the delights of childhood, I think is really what the purpose was, what we were here for, to grow in spiritual connection with the divine even. And I don't know how to, maybe it's not something like that, but it doesn't mean that it's not worth it to move in that direction, even if, our lifetimes we can't flip it so we're in that paradise. But then again, maybe we can. You never know unless you try. And to me, it's like we gotta try, or we just try or die. Suffer or relieve some of the suffering. See how much you can relieve. It's kind of. This video is really long. I apologize. not that long. I've done longer ones, but feel free to leave your thoughts, comments. If you want to have some sort of discussion on this, let me know. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. But yeah, just fixing the issues. There's beautiful things going on, right? Like the cities have started building gardens on the rooftops. A lot of them, of buildings, that kind of stuff, transforming what's here to the bright side, to the life affirming side, to the loving, respectful, harmonious side. I think that's what our life purpose is, since this month's already there. And from there, it's just about, expanding our awareness and our connection to the divine, getting to know each other on different levels, and having enjoyable experiences. Like I said, I'm not being a fluffy bunny here. I'm also aware that probably challenges are a part of life, but not like we've been going through, Keep it real, see the truth. And until next time, be well.